I enjoy speaking about my life and my experiences as a lesbian because I wasn't allowed to talk about my feelings, my thoughts, my perceptions, or my reality growing up. And it wasn't because I didn't desire to. I was in a position where if I was myself, I was going to be in trouble. The reason why I speak about my life and the experiences of other lesbian, gay, bisexual, and LGBTQ people on my YouTube channel is because I love being a lesbian. I notice many people on social media talking about their lives and showing their pictures, and that's all good and gravy. I have no issue with that. Social media is a microcosm of real life, but social media is not necessarily a reflection of the truth. There are people who live a facade. They're not being true to themselves. Many people are showing what they want other people to see. And many people like to be put on a pedestal. They love people idolizing them. A lot of people are superficial and arrogant and full of pride, but they use social media and the internet to create this perfect image of themselves, but they're not dealing with themselves. Many people are not self-aware. And I know when I was growing up, I could get in trouble for just saying that I'm a lesbian. Now, I'm not saying that I went through any type of physical altercations, but what I am saying is that words hurt. People can damage you just by the words that they speak against you. And God actually says that there is life and death in the power of the tongue. Just because a person isn't being physically harmed or attacked physically does not mean that they have not gone through mistreatment, neglect, hatred, just for being themselves. I know what it's like to be forced to be someone who you are not, to be this ideal person in someone else's eyes. To have your closest family members manipulating and controlling who you are to please them. That's narcissistic behavior. They didn't use that word back in the day when I was growing up in the early 90s, but the modern term now is narcissism or being narcissistic or narcissistic behavior. And this has been going on since the beginning of time, but people just describe it in different ways. In the Holy Bible, they're called users and abusers. There's even a real life account in the Bible, and I don't have the specific scripture, but just Google King Nebuchadnezzar. King Nebuchadnezzar was a narcissist. And when you just study that story, it's a great story. You will learn how people are on the inside when they have controlling, manipulative, mean spirited hearts, and how they enjoy people worshiping them and putting them on a pedestal, and they enjoy controlling people. So this kind of behavior, this type of very antagonistic behavior has been going on since the beginning of time. But we are in a different age. We're in the quote unquote information age. And the information age means that information is at our hands. It is the most convenient way to get information. And you can do that by just simply logging in online on the internet, being on social media. So when people get online and they show you who they are, how do you know if they're being authentic or not? Meaning, how do you know if that person is really themselves? You won't know unless you know that person in person. Meaning, like, you probably have to be around this person for a good amount of time to get to know them and their behaviors and their attitudes. But really, you won't ever get to know another person fully because you're not that person. But the wonderful part of it all is you can work on yourself. You can be an authentic person. You can be the best version of yourself. And I wasn't allowed to be that person when I was younger because I was a child. I was a teenager. I was in a household with a family that took care of me. So I had to abide by their rules. It wasn't easy, but I survived. So now I'm able to be myself. And that was not an easy or overnight process. It took years and years of self improvement, of educating myself, digging deep within and looking at myself and really facing the truth. And the truth was, I hated being someone who I was not. I knew I didn't want to be that way. So I changed my life. I didn't wait around for someone else to tell me, hey, don't you think that you should be yourself? I didn't have I didn't have time to wait around for that because for one, they may not ever tell you that because as I already explained, many people want you to be someone who they are not. They want you to be someone who they are comfortable with. But the problem with being comfortable is you don't really grow. You don't accept people for who they really are. And I did not want that for me. And I choose to be myself every day. And there's people who want everyone to be the same way. They want you to be heterosexual. And we live in a heteronormative society that demands people to perform a certain way, behave a certain way, think a certain way, and talk a certain way. And nobody's really being themselves. You have this ex-gay movement, which are people who are former gays, and they claim that they are no longer homosexual. And they're denouncing being gay because they want to be heterosexual. And they think that being heterosexual is the ideal life. What they fail to understand is that they are choosing self-hatred. But the pressure of this society and the way the media decorates heterosexuality, many people end up conforming to be someone who they are not. They're denying their true identity. And your sexual orientation is your identity. Being lesbian or gay or bisexual, that is your sexual orientation. That is your identity. It is how you identify yourself. And I've had people who tell me all the time, oh, being gay is not an identity. Yes, it is. If you ask a heterosexual person, is their sexual orientation their identity? They would say, yes, it is. It's your identity because it's how you recognize yourself. It's how you define yourself. It's how you represent yourself. It is your makeup. It's who you are. And I notice there's even lesbian or gay people who are on social media and they will talk about heterosexual people all the time. Um, for example, I've seen like gay men giving heterosexual women relationship advice. And I don't I don't think that a gay man should solely focus on heterosexual women in their dating lives. And the reason why is because there's a lot of gay men who would love to get dating advice from other gay men, like gay married men, or even gay single men who have gone through some experiences and they learned through those dating experiences and they can actually help other people. We don't have enough information for gay, lesbian, bisexual, and LGBTQ people to help us in our experiences. And because we live in this heteronormative society, people have been warped to continue to teach or give advice or mimic a heterosexual perspective. And as a disclaimer, I'm not saying that a gay man, I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying a gay man cannot give a heterosexual woman dating advice, but to solely focus on that only, it's, to me, it's not fully addressing who he is as a person. And that's because, for one, he's not a woman, he's not a heterosexual woman. So he really does not know her experience, but yet he's telling a heterosexual woman how to, for example, get a man. And he's referring to a heterosexual man. He's not even a heterosexual man, he's a gay man. And he can spend more time with other gay men giving them dating advice. But everybody's so focused on heterosexuality. We need more voices. We need more community. We need more focus on ourselves as gay, lesbian, bisexual, and LGBTQ people, because heterosexual people are not going to give it to us. They're not going to provide that information to us. For one, they're not homosexual. And for two, many of them don't know what it's like to be a gay or lesbian or LGBTQ person. So they're not going to put themselves in positions of acting like they know what they are doing or what they are saying. And then thirdly, there's a lot of people who are homophobic or biphobic or transphobic, and they do not support the LGBTQ community. Everybody does not want to be heterosexual, and we need to act like it. And the we is lesbian, gay, bisexual, and LGBTQ people. There's not enough of us representing us. There's not enough voices speaking about our experiences in our lives in a positive, responsible manner. Many people don't even know that we like ourselves because we're not being ourselves. If you're running around professing that you're an ex-gay, and there's even some gay people who they'll admit that they're gay or lesbian, but they'll reject themselves at the same time. For example, they'll say, well, yeah, I'm gay or I'm lesbian, but I don't let people know that I'm gay or lesbian because I don't think that they'll accept me. Who cares if they don't accept you? You hold your head up and you be yourself. I'm not saying that you go around saying or announcing that you're gay, lesbian, bisexual, or LGBTQ to everybody. But if someone knows that you're gay or lesbian, don't be ashamed or embarrassed about them knowing that information. Or if someone asks you if you're gay or lesbian, depending on your situation, if you are safe, if you're able to protect yourself, if you feel due to the circumstance that you can be open about who you are, then by all means do so. But don't be afraid of people, or don't be so concerned about them accepting you to the point that you don't even acknowledge yourself. People can pick up on your energy. They can know when you don't feel good about who you are. And people will treat you how you treat yourself. I enjoy talking about being a lesbian. I enjoy being a certified lesbian life coach. And if I have the opportunity to educate someone about who I am, I'm going to take that opportunity. And I'm going to speak about the lesbian experience, because everybody does not want to be heterosexual. My name is Giselle Wallace, lesbian life coach and author. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you're listening to this message, like the videos. If you have listened to any of my videos and you have not liked them or shared them, please do so. I would appreciate you liking and sharing and subscribing, because this is how we get our voices out. If you just listen to the video and you don't like it, then you're preventing an opportunity for another person who identifies as lesbian, gay, bisexual, or trans to hear this message. Because the more you support our voices, the more people get to know about our voices. So heterosexual people are doing it. Gay, lesbian, bisexual, and LGBTQ people need to do it for ourselves. I thank you for listening. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a good day.